And just to show that we are recording, in the top left-hand screen, you should see a blinking red light. So that's how you guys know that we're recording. For those of you who are just getting on, if you don't mind muting yourself, what happens is anyone who's not muted and sound, your computer that picks up sound, it switches focus on the person not talking, so it can be distracting. In an open forum, it's totally great. If you don't know how to do it, if you're on the computer, on the left-hand side at the bottom, there's a microphone, and if you just click on that, it should be able to mute yourself. I also have
I'm looking.
if you're dialing in from a telephone, just hit the mute button.
I see a box that says automatically mute microphone when joining meeting, but I don't know.
Oh, you must be in the settings. I can mute you. I have that power as the host.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Okay. Let me see if anybody else is. Okay, just so you guys know, the way you can mute people is if you click on Manage Participants, and you're not going to be able to mute everyone. I will. But I'm going to allow you guys to unmute yourselves. But like I said, just try and please save your questions to the end, because I'm going to try and give you guys a lot of information. It may feel a little overwhelming, but I want to make sure you get as much information as you can and go back through the recording and kind of get some of those notes that you might have missed. So I'm just going to kick it off. My name is Christy Nix. I'm a new National Marketing Director as of September, so I'm pretty new at this whole new game, and it's amazing. Zoom is one of the best tools that I've used that has allowed my team to become an NMD team. That is because my team is primarily a military team. We have moved 8 times in 6 years. So you can imagine the duplication is really difficult when you're living in an area for a very short amount of time. But you're also able to develop connections with people throughout the world every time you move. So I've been able to utilize Zoom as a way, pretty much doesn't know any distance. You know, I've used this for every single possible way that I can do to boost my business. So right now I'm going to navigate you through this, and at the end I'm going to tell you guys about what we've done to utilize it. So the first thing I want you guys to look at, if you're on your computer, if you're on a mobile device, you're going to have to be a little bit more flexible. But I want you to move your mouse to the top right-hand corner, and you should see a key or a button that comes up, and it should either say speaker view or it will say gallery view. And just click on that and see how things change. Right now, I'm in the gallery view, and I call it the Brady Bunch view. If you remember the Brady Bunch, you see all these heads. And I love this because I'm getting to see you guys smile. I can tell the ones who know who the Brady Bunch is and then who doesn't. So I can see you guys right now, and I can see who's getting what I'm talking about and who's not, okay? This is one of my favorite parts about it. But if you're kind of in like an HLP, you know, if we're imagining being at a healthy living party at our own home, sometimes I like to switch to speaker view because I want that to be my focus so I can hone in on them. So this is your choice, whatever you want to do, just pick what works best for you. Now I want you to take your mouse down to the left-hand side, and I want you to look for the speaker. And it's just a microphone. And basically, if you hit mute, it unmutes yourself. If you hit, and then vice versa. It's really easy. That little disclosure arrow that's pointing up, that's to the right of it, if you click on that, I use this for a lot of my first-time Zoom participants. A lot of times they may not be able to hear me, or I can't hear them, or vice versa. This is a way for me to look at it, and I know my settings are typically correct because you guys can hear me. So I can say, okay, does it say that you have a built-in microphone? What does it say your speaker is? Click on audio options, and I can walk them through that way. So that's pretty much what I've used it for. That's what I believe it's for. Next is the stop video. And if you have your video off, it should say start video. So maybe you're just not feeling like letting people see your crazy house. Maybe you have kids running all around, but you want to be able to see what's going on. You can turn your video off, but it doesn't mean that you're not able to hear or see this or participate. We could still hear you if you unmuted yourself. So if you want to practice and turn that off right now, go ahead and just see what happens. We don't lose you. And then turn it back on. There you go. Pretty easy. And then to the right of that is another troubleshooting option, that little disclosure arrow that's pointing to the top. I can look at it and see what my camera is connected to, and I can also go into the settings if I need to help someone. All right? Okay, now to the right, you see that little person with a plus sign? That's invite. So I use this, let's say someone is having a hard time getting onto this presentation right now and they're messaging us. Everybody click on the invite button and a new window is gonna pop up and you're gonna see a bunch of different options. I usually use the two bottom left-hand corner ones, the copy URL, which is only going to give you the website link to this, what you guys probably clicked on to get in here, most of you. But there's also a copy invitation that gives like the whole shebang details. So the thing that I put on the Team Shining Star Facebook page, where it says Christy Nix is inviting you to the Team Shining Star Zoom training, and it gives the time and the date, and then it gives the link and also the phone number on there. A lot of people aren't really ready to take on Zoom yet, but they're still comfortable with using their telephone to dial in. You can also choose an email option to send to them too. So play around with that and then close out of that. Next thing you're gonna see is manage participants at the bottom. We can see that there's 21 people on here and everyone can click on that. And if you want, it's kind of nice. So let's say you have a big event and there's 50 people on here. Maybe you want to make sure that your friend who you invited is on here or your team member. You can quickly scroll through here and see who's on. If you are a host, like I said, you have the option to mute all and unmute people. So, and then that more button is a little bit more control for you, whether you want to hear the chimes when people come in or not. So I don't think it's really that big of a deal unless you get to be like this Zoom guru who wants to be really specific on things. So that allows you to see who is on here. Close out of that. And then next is the chat button. And this chat button is fantastic for so many reasons. So everybody click on that. And I'm just gonna say hello to all of you. So everyone should be able to see a message from me. But I see Carolyn's in here and I'm gonna say, hi, Carolyn. And you guys aren't able to see it, but she is. So you can privately message anyone on here. So I use this a lot if someone comes in and let's say the host who created this event is the main speaker. Hello back. The person who created this may be the main speaker and somebody comes in and they don't have like they come in and they're not muted and you can hear all sorts of things coming from the background. This is the time for someone on here to just, privately message that person. Let's say Heather didn't have herself muted. Someone could privately message her, click on her name and say, hey, Heather, just a heads up, we can hear you. You might want to mute yourself. Because that way the host doesn't have to stop what they're talking about and then go in and try and make sure everyone's muted. So that's really helpful. You could also notice, so say you're on a T30 presentation on here and you have a guest and all of a sudden they're talking about the Children's Health Study, and you could make sure that you're grabbing your guest's attention and say, hey, heads up, pay attention to this one. So you can use it for a lot of different reasons, but another thing that I use this oftentimes is with a first-time Zoomer, because they may not, they may not be able to hear me or vice versa, so I can message them directions in there if they don't have access to their phone. So you can use that for a lot of different options. And then the last option on here is the stop recording button. And obviously I don't want to do that because I want to make sure this is recorded. But what happens when you hit the stop recording button, it just does that. It stops recording. It doesn't end the meeting by any means. But what happens is it says, you get a notification in the top right-hand corner, and it says, after your meeting is over, it's going to start converting that file to an MP4 file. So that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be super technical. It just means that it's going to download it to a certain folder and you're going to have access to it. More than likely, it's going to be shared on your computer somewhere. I'll show you how to find it in a second. But what you can do with that then is our team has a team YouTube page. So any trainings that we do on here, maybe it's a Practice T30 presentation, maybe it's a team meeting that not everyone can get on, but they want to see what we talked about, all of that is uploaded to our team page. You can also download it to Dropbox or Google Drive. I know a lot of teams like to use that, but it is a semi big file, so it's not always something you can just upload to YouTube or to Facebook, okay? So the way you can find where these are stored is I'm actually gonna now hit the screen share file. Hopefully this comes up. So when you share a screen, you want to have something already open on your computer that you want to share. It's not going to give you an option to open anything when you click share screen. If you want to do this with me, just click it. It's going to show you what is,
Turn this thing off.
I'm just going to mute. Okay, so when you click on share screen, you should see the things that you already have open on your computer as options. And you'll also see a whiteboard, which I'll get to that. That's a very new feature that I'm noticing. But hopefully you can see this. So this is the widget that you kind of want to look for a lot of different things, but I'm going to tell you where to go because visually it's just not easy because I can't share my screen to show you what my Zoom looks like. So see this settings file? You should be able to click on that. And then, hold on, I wrote it in my notes because I'm not going to be able to visually see it. To find where you want your things to be saved, your videos, you're going to click on the settings. Hold on. Okay. And then you're going to go to the record option. And this is something worth writing down or just rewatching this. And then you're going to see something that says store my recordings at. And this is where you can choose where you want to have your Zoom recordings stored. I like to have it on my desktop because it's easy to find. But some people don't like anything on their desktop. So this is where you get to figure out where you want to keep everything. Or there's also a box that you can click on and it says, choose a location after the meeting ends. So after your meeting ends, a message will pop up and ask you, okay, this is downloading. Where do you want it to be saved at? And you have that option too. So that might be kind of helpful. So that is where you can find the recordings. And then as far as scheduling a meeting, I'm going to keep this open. So hopefully you can find this on your desktop. But I love this because it is super easy. All you have to do is click on that calendar that says schedule. And then I have to stop my screen share and show you another photo that it's going to look like. Then this is going to pop up. Okay, so the topic, I recommend naming the topic of, whatever your event is going to be called. Like I called ours Team Shining Star Zoom Training. And then you pick the start date and the time and then the duration. I don't think that really matters too much, but you want to make sure that your time zone is correlated to where you actually are. The video part, it's up to you, but I think whenever you join, it should always be on, like the video should always be on. And the audio options, you should definitely have both, because if you only have one or the other, then you could have audio issues. But the most important thing to me is the meeting options. I think, in my opinion, I think enable join before host should never be checked, never, if you have a free account with Zoom. Because when you have a free account with Zoom, you only have 40 minutes. And if someone gets on the video 15 minutes before the planned time that it starts, well, your clock just started ticking. You don't have 40 minutes left. It's already eaten into 15 minutes of your time. So no one can join until the host gets on there. So I think that's really important. And then I am a Mac user, so for my calendar, I choose iCal. And once I put all this information in correctly, I click the schedule button. And what happens is, because I chose iCal, for anyone else who uses different calendars, I'm sorry, I can't help you with it. You have to play with it. But it opens up my iCal and it puts all this information in here, including the link, the number that you can dial into. So all I have to do is copy and paste it any way I want whenever I'm talking to someone and inviting them. So that's how you schedule it. A little bit more about the free Zoom option and the paid option. I think there's perks to both. I think only having 40 minutes teaches you and your team to be brief in what you're saying. I love that, because we probably could all raise our hands and say we've been guilty of verbal vomit before. So you want to make sure that you can plan your presentation and time in your discussion so that you have the most time for discussion and questions, because you guys know that's where all the magic happens, right? You want to have that talk and hear where your prospect is and where they're worried, and be able to have that happen. So that's huge. But also, if you don't have the free one, if you have the paid one, then like Jake had talked about at conference, then you can have a whole workday. It never expires. So I think there's perks to both. But I think at first, if you just want to try this out a little bit, first learn how to be brief before you buy the full version. And then if you are on the free version, so like I said, you get 40 minutes. When you have 10 minutes left in your presentation on here, you'll get a notification and everyone will see it. You all have to hit accept because it's basically trying to get you to upgrade to the paid version so you can have unlimited minutes. Everyone just doesn't, accepts it. So then you've got 10 minutes left to make sure you cover the heart of the most important stuff. But you'll also see in the top left-hand corner, there's going to be a time ticking. So it says you may have 7 minutes left. If you know you need more than 10 minutes, you can ask everyone kindly, I know this is an inconvenience, but could everyone just click end meeting? Don't do it. No one do this right now. But what you can do is if you have everyone leave this meeting, and what's easiest is if the host just hits end meeting for all, then you can ask them to click back on that exact same link that you told them about. Everyone can get back on and you have a brand new 40 minutes. Okay? So that is really good because the last thing you want is you save the most important information for the end and you don't even have time to cover it. And you have all these people coming on for the information. So do your best to be respectful of their time, but at that said, give them the opportunity to get back on. So that's a little trick that I've learned along the way. The types of events, I found that you can be really creative with this. We've gotten to the point where we're like, okay, who's on our prospect list? And why do we think that Juice Plus fits best for them? Maybe they're an athlete. So get 3 athletes on here to share their story and then have discussion after. We found that usually having more than 3 speakers takes up a lot of time. 2 or 3 people can be ideal. We've done a ladies and babies event where we had brand new babies on Zoom with their moms, all the way to moms with high school students talking about what Juice Plus did for them. We've had personal trainers. We've had people just sharing their various T30 stories. We've done business events. Amy Meyer and Christine Hancock on here do an event with me called Above His Pay Grade, and we are focusing on military families and showing that we want to retire our spouses from the military with the Juice Plus business and how it fits perfectly for our lifestyle. So you can pick whatever you want. And it's also a great opportunity for you to do team meetings and masterminds. And one of the things that I recently discovered is that you can use, when you use the screen share, so if everybody kind of refers back to it, there's a new option on here called Whiteboard. And if you click on it, sorry, the UPS man is here, so hopefully my dog doesn't bark so much. Shh, you don't want to take a bath, do you? Okay, sorry, I have to threaten the bath. So maybe let's, plan a mastermind, and you can make notes here and you can save it. And it's a great way to just brainstorm some things. So I have not used much with Whiteboard at all. I just recently discovered it. So I'm kind of excited to see what it can do, for our team meetings or coaching calls. Another thing with coaching calls is you're able to actually go through preferred customer genealogy reports with your individual distributor and help walk them through their personal things or their PVC report. You can look at the stair steps. I mean, you can do everything in Zoom that you can do in person. Yes, being with someone right away, right next to them is the most beneficial in my opinion, but how duplicatable is this? I mean, everybody can get on here and ask questions and learn different things and be motivated by one another. So my challenge to you is to just get creative and be bold. You can't screw Zoom up. Just play with it. Most people have no issues with troubleshooting on here. And I have found that it has really brought my team together because hardly any of us are in the same city. We just don't have that benefit. So it's funny how a lot of times when we get to conference, we actually finally meet each other, but it feels like we've known each other all along because of Zoom. So I'm going to unmute. Well, actually what I should do is have you guys unmute yourself if you have a question. If I unmute everyone, it's going to be probably crazy loud.
Christy?
Yep.
If you have people, when you first start with people, do you kind of go over some of the rules with them? Because we did have one meeting and people were really distracted and somebody was playing with the whiteboard. And I mean, it kind of became chaotic. So do you when you have new people, do you kind of walk through what you're doing in the beginning?
Did you use it for like a presentation for the product, or was it a team meeting?
It was a team meeting.
It was a team meeting. We've never had that issue just because I'm noticing that whiteboard is a new thing. But yeah, I've actually never really had that many distractions. I can kind of tell everybody's been pretty focused in. But if there was an issue, you know, I probably would lay down like the etiquette, just like we have with Voxer, you know. So that just might be something team-wide to focus on. I mean, when you have something new, you want to play with it. So in some ways you're like, great, you guys are excited about it, but also we got to stay on task.
Hey, Christy, Tom, I have a question.
Okay.
You hear me? I sent you a chat thing. When you had up, like scheduling, there were some things popped up that we could see, but I don't know where you got them.
Okay. You want me to show you what the image will look like again?
Yeah.
Okay. So I start here.
Start where?
Can you see what this looks like?
Yeah, but how did you get it?
It's some people have issues finding this. And are you on a PC or a Mac?
PC.
Okay, this is where I'm not going to be able to be very helpful. I would look to see what you have open, or if anyone's ever used this before that is a PC user. Can you help Christy out in this? Anybody?
So Christy, do you see the share screen at the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if we click on that. Oh, somebody else is sharing, so I can't share.
Yeah, I'll stop sharing.
Okay, I'll just take a look. And then it lets you share your desktop. So if you have something open on your desktop,
yeah,
I'm assuming it would show that. Right now it's showing Christy because she's on my desktop.
Well,
I think Christy's trying to figure out.
I don't have any documents open, but if I clicked on, okay, so if I click on my desktop, right now, can we share?
Yeah, yep, you can.
Okay, I'm clicking on my desktop and I don't see anything happening.
Did you
double
press
click on it?
I saw something like once I click on what I want, like I'm just going to click on this thing. It says then share screen. Do you guys see a bunch of, it's really my download folder. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah. So Christy, if you had something up, you can click on that. And then at the bottom, I have a button that says share screen again. So there's two times I pressed a share screen button. And Christy, you and I could practice this too.
Yeah,
if you want.
I'll just practice it. Like you could just practice it with one other person, couldn't you? Or
Yeah.
Can you practice
Yeah.
it yourself?
And then I hit stop share and then it flips back.
Okay. Oh. Sherry, is that you telling me?
Yes. Yeah. So we could practice it. And Christy, I have a question. Like, do you ever show PowerPoints, or what kind of things might you show? Do you show presentations like that?
Yeah. Yep. So like a lot of times we use the T30 presentation booklet.
Okay.
In PDF form. Some of my team have created their own PowerPoint presentation, and you can, as long as that's up, when you share a screen, you can use that. You can use your website. This is a great thing to do a web walk-in.
Yeah.
Have you shown videos by doing a screen share?
Amy Meyer has. My internet connection is awful, so I just can't do it.
Okay, because when we had tried to do that and we found sometimes it was lagging for people, and then we had the idea of posting the link to the YouTube video in the chat, and then everybody clicks and watches it on their own, and then you mute everyone. Has anybody tried that?
That's a great idea. You could definitely do that. I know sometimes when we have, like, we create an event in Facebook and we make the location the Zoom link for people to click on that easily. But we ask them to maybe watch, Mitra's 2.5-minute video before that. So they already kind of know what they're coming to. So you can kind of make the pregame as well.
I have a quick question. So do you use this more than maybe like Facebook parties?
I never use Facebook parties.
Okay.
But that's based upon, for me, I need human relationships.
Yeah.
I want to make sure people are engaged, and I want to make sure they're on. I don't know who visited the Facebook event. I'm not dogging it. I think that there's great tools for different people. For us, Zoom has just been an incredible tool. But we merge Facebook and Zoom together. You know, we create the event in Facebook. We give them the information in Zoom, but we'll also post informative things in there just like you would a Facebook event.
Okay, that makes sense. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Good question. I'm sorry, you guys.
Schedule 'em.
We have a lot of things going on outside, and my dog is not a fan of it. Okay, let me see who else has a
Schedule
question.
meetings.
I have a question, Christy.
Okay.
If you have somebody that can't get on when the thing starts, can they just jump in the middle, or does that mess everything up?
That's fine. If they can't get in until later, I always just say, please try and mute yourself so that you don't interrupt, the presentation.
Okay.
So yeah, or if you have a dog that's sassy, you could mute that one. But yeah, they're totally welcome. Like I'm just happy if they can get on, and I just say, you know what, they got on at the time that they needed to hear it.
Okay. So, but it doesn't interrupt all of what's happening.
Nope, not at all. Like we had people get on here after we had started, and you probably didn't notice.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
when you say you're going to have something open so that you can present it, does it have to be on your desktop?
No, you can use it. I've actually done a presentation in the car wash with my phone. So you can do it anywhere. A mobile device is pretty easy to use. I'd rather have a desktop. I'm kind of old school, so I would rather have a computer, but a lot of my team, they're younger generations, so they use their phones. That's where they do all their business. But you would have, you would want to have some things open, like the T30 presentation they have saved, I think, in their library or iBooks or something like that, and they just open it from there. So it's worth playing around with your mobile device to get familiar with it, but yeah, by all means, use it.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah. So I have one person on here that I can tell is on a telephone, and because I have them muted, they can't unmute themselves. So whoever's 313-580, oh, maybe you can unmute yourself. I was going to say, I'm going to unmute you in case you had any questions.
I do have questions.
Okay.
When I got the information, I got the phone number, and then I got on the computer, so I don't know where I'm supposed to be. I'm looking at my computer, but I'm hearing it on my phone. Can I hear it on the computer and not use my phone?
Yes, you should be able to. It just may be a troubleshooting issue where we'd have to make sure that the audio is working on your computer.
Okay.
Good question.
The other question is, when you set this up, that, again, I've not been on this before, so I'm gaining a lot of information. What is the step? You're going to do a meeting on Zoom. What's the initial step? How do you get that phone number and all that information for everyone?
So
what's the step to go there?
the first step is to open Zoom on your phone or on your computer, and you should see a widget. I call it a widget, but I'll share what it looks like again. This is not my actual one. I took a screenshot so you guys could see what it looks like. But so you find your widget that looks like this, and you click on the schedule button. And once you click on the schedule button, I'm going to show you what the next page that will look like. And again, this is a screenshot, but, oh, that didn't work. Hold on. It's not opening the right picture, but what you should get is something that asks you to name the event. You choose the date that you want the event for and the exact time. You make sure the time zone is correctly associated with where you're living. And then you choose the calendar that you want to have it put all that information into. So for me, like I said,
So that's what you had showed us before.
Yeah. Yeah. And it automatically put it in there. I love it. So it's saved in my calendar. And then all I have to do is go into my calendar, copy and paste everything. And that's when I open Facebook, create the event, and paste it into the description of that event. But what I've also found is just by copying the location, the link, and putting it into the location on the Facebook event, you guys know what I mean? I'll just kind of show you. So, oh wait. I don't know if you're going to be able to see my website change. Sorry. Do you guys see that says this? It should say above his pay grade. Okay. So you see how I put the link in right here for the location? So all people have to do is click on that link and it will open it up. It will open up Zoom. So it's easy for your people to come, you know, instead of saying your computer and then they have to scroll in the description and then, oh, then they see the rest of the information. I mean, I copied and pasted all of this from my computer because this is what's added in there for when I create the event. But to make it easy, once I copy and paste it in here, I copy this hyperlink and then I edit and I put it in this location. So that for most people who are on their desktop, they can just click on this and it will open Zoom. Now, most people who are on their mobile devices, clicking on this doesn't always open up Zoom. They need the meeting ID number. So that's when they'd have to scroll down. But that's how we use Facebook for it. And a lot of times we'll, especially in these above his pay grade ongoing events, we post the recorded video in there too. So people who couldn't make it are still able to watch that video in there.
Christy, I have a quick question on the recordings.
Uh-huh.
I had heard that Zoom recordings were not worth the effort. Your team finds them useful?
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. I can't imagine them not being useful. I mean, we have found, you know, I've seen like this transition from talking always about the studies, you know, the clinical studies that Juice Plus does, and now we've transitioned to the stories supporting the science. I mean, who wouldn't want to hear about, you know, a mom who finally got pregnant because of Transform 30? I mean, that's a personal health story. Why wouldn't you share that?
I think the question has to do with the quality of recordings that are coming from Zoom.
Honestly, my background is film, and I would be one of those people who is incredibly picky about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty high quality. It's high definition audio and video.
Okay.
So I think it's the best you can find so far without using professional camera work, you know?
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? If you look at the top, which shows we have 5 minutes left.
What about Voxer? Can you have a team on Voxer and let them know the Zoom meeting rather than Facebook if you want to just zero in on a few team members, or you're trying to train one person and you don't want the rest of the world to see it?
Absolutely. Yep.
Great.
Great idea. Anybody else? I'm going to check this chat real quick and just see if we covered all the questions. Okay, so do you have an upgraded account to mute all? Only the host. I haven't purchased the full-on like Zoom yet, but I do know only the host can mute everyone. That's for Jennifer. Christy, I think that Sherry answered that question for you, I hope. It does schedule on Google Calendar. I tried it once. I'm not married to Google Calendar. So, and if anyone has that experience, that would be great.
Got it from Sherry. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, hi, Katie. Thank you. So, okay. And then Susan, the unmute button, I'm sure you probably found it, but if you're on a computer, if you look on the left-hand side at the bottom, you should see a microphone. And if you just touch that with your mouse, it should mute and unmute.
I don't see it.
Okay.
What does it look like?
Are you on your computer or are you on your phone?
I'm on my computer. Yep.
Okay. Are you on a PC or a Mac?
I'm a Mac. Oh, on the right-hand corner, just that little box.
You got it?
There? Is that it? Nope. That
Mine's
says
on the
non-video
left.
participants. On the left, it says join audio and stop video.
Huh. Let me take a screenshot and I'll show you what it looks like. Hold on.
It may be different because she's using her phone audio, but she's got her visual on her computer.
That's probably it.
That could be.
Yeah.
I'll play with it. If you have any questions, we'll.
Okay.
Very
Awesome.
smart. Thank you, Heather.
Well done, Heather.
Christy, one thing that I signed up for a pro account. We do get a discount on the monthly for being Juice Plus reps. So if you guys don't know that, I can try and post a comment in the invitation thread in Team Shining Star.
That would
But
be
you're able
awesome.
to get
I've
like
been looking for one.
or 20% off or something like that of the monthly.
That's what I've been waiting for. That'd be great. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jennifer. Anybody else? Well, you know how to find me, okay? So if you have any questions, please don't hold back, and I'd love to help you. This tool has helped me so much with my business. I would love to help yours too.
When you talk about video, you're talking about recording the actual Zoom meeting and then having the link to show the video. Is that correct?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. Anything else? We have 1 minute left.
Thank you.
I will be contacting you.
All right. I welcome
Thank
it.
you so much.
Thank you
Thank
very
so
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Question.
This was awesome, Christy. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is awesome. Where do you find to start the recording?
It's on the bottom, close, kind of in the middle to the right-hand side, and it just says start recording. It's a red circle.
Oh, it says record. That's
Yep,
all.
that's
Yeah,
it.
okay. Thanks.
No problem.